Welcome, everybody. Forgive me, I think I had a little frog in my throat as I was doing the meditation. I'm used to having the microphone near me. For those of you that don't know him, this is Peter Sterling. He's our guest musician today and our guest speaker, so give him a welcome. Wasn't that beautiful piece of music? And Peter has his family with us today. This is Crystal in the back and Micah.
Micah.
For those of you that were here in the March event where Peter was our guest speaker and did the workshop, Crystal was still about 7 months pregnant. So congratulations, and you can tell he loves the sound of his father's playing. Look, it just lulled him right to sleep.
No, in March he was 9 months pregnant.
In March he was 9 months pregnant?
Yes, he was born March 23rd.
No, April.
April 23rd, okay, that's right. So she was about 8 months pregnant.
He's sleep deprived. Anyway, welcome. We have a beautiful day for you today. Peter's going to talk to us about sound and healing and the Merkaba. And if you're interested, if you haven't signed up already, we do have a workshop this afternoon at between 2 and 5, which Peter's going to be going into greater depths. He'll be playing some music, he'll be doing some sound healing. I see you brought your crystal tuning bowls.
The crystal bowl. Yeah.
And do you have the presentation like you did last time?
Mm-hmm.
Good, so we have a beautiful presentation. And Peter, you were just in England.
That's right.
Seeing the crop circles. So you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Well, it's fantastic. This was my third summer in a row to go to England to explore the crop circles. And this is quite an unusual phenomena. And to be able to go into them and experience them firsthand is an amazing experience because there's such a strong energy field that emanates from the crop circles. And I'll be getting more in depth with that this afternoon. But it's always wonderful to go there to England and also to explore the ancient mysteries of the Holy Grail and King Arthur and all those legends and Stonehenge and all the stone circles there. So we do that too.
Did you go to Glastonbury?
No, I was in Glastonbury. Yeah. And we did a private ceremony in the middle of Stonehenge. We had a sunset ceremony with about 30 people.
They let you do that? I thought they were...
They let you reserve it for private groups, and you pay money to go in for the private groups. So they have private groups that start right at sunrise. They're like 5:30 in the morning, 6 a.m. the first group goes in. And it's open to the public at 9, so they can get like 3 groups in for an hour before they open, and then they get like 2 or 3 at the very end of the day. Yeah.
Because there are summers, the sun doesn't go down until 10 o'clock.
That's right, yeah. So they stay late. But we also do that in the Chalice Well, which is the sacred spring at the bottom of Chalice Hill, at the bottom of the Tor, which is the famous hill over the town of Glastonbury, where at the top of it is the Tower of St. Michael, of Archangel Michael, which was an old church from the 1200s. So there's just an ancient ruin, just one part of the tower that they didn't tear down. It's a fascinating story, and so much of it is in our own genetics and in our own soul memory to relive that, because a lot of that's being played out right now in the world. The whole Arthurian legend is still alive, and even Prince William and his new wife Kate are carrying forth this new energy of the Grail and the Prince, and the King energy, which is a long lineage, which is quite interesting to explore that. But
It explains our fascination with the royal family. It's more than just being a fan of something that, photos of the rich and famous. I mean, there is something mystical about that. I think it explains why we watch them so closely and watch every move that they make.
Well, it's possible that many of us had parallel lives living at that time, even perhaps simultaneously right now, where we're under the rulership of the king or the queen, and it wasn't always a pleasant experience, as history shows. But in Glastonbury, the old abbey in Glastonbury, which was built in the 1200s. It was the center of the Church of England was in Glastonbury, and the most beautiful cathedral was built there, Gothic cathedral architecture, and in the 1500s, Henry VIII he destroyed it. He was the new king of England, and he went in and destroyed the abbey at Glastonbury because the church was too powerful, had more power than the king, and more wealth. So he went and he assembled his army, and they went and they killed all the priests and a lot of the monks, and they destroyed the cathedral and took all the riches. And so when you go there, you walk through the ancient ruins of the destroyed chapel. But it's very interesting because the final resting place, supposedly, of King Arthur is there. So I've actually played my harp sitting on the top of King Arthur's tomb. Yeah. So I have this whole mythical adventure I've been on, and I even found the sword. Last year, my first trip, I looked for a sword. I've been looking for a special sword for many years, which is the sword of Arthur's sword, Excalibur, which is kind of the same sword that Archangel Michael holds. So it's the sword of truth, courage, righteousness, honor, all of that kind of thing. So first year I didn't find it, and then last year I went to the birthplace of King Arthur, which is in Cornwall, a place called Tintagel, right on the cliffs overlooking the ocean. And there's an ancient ruin there from about from a long time ago. I can't remember the date exactly. But it was there where I finally, in the gift shop, I found the sword of the Excalibur sword, and then I brought it back to Glastonbury last year, and then we did a ceremony at the Chalice Well. We had a private group visit to the Chalice Well, where the water comes out. There's 2 springs at the bottom of the Chalice Hill. The Tor is the mountain that goes up right over town with the chapel on it, and right at the base are 2 springs. There's the Red Spring and the White Spring, and they're all full of legends. It's all connected to the Holy Grail, but one represents the Red Spring is it's the feminine, like the red menstrual blood of the feminine. The White Spring is the man. So there's this whole alchemy of the sacred marriage there. You drink the water. You drink from both springs while you're there. And you can really feel the effect of this water. So I brought the sword back, and I dipped it actually into the Chalice Well during our private ceremony to cleanse and purify it. And then when you look into the well, because there's like a hole, and there's a grate, and there's this beautiful stonework around it where people sit and meditate under the shade of these beautiful trees. And you can look into the water, and when you look into the mere reflection of the water, you can see yourself and your face. It's like a looking glass. And if you look at it, you can see your past lives when you look into the water reflected on the top of the well, the sacred well. It's mystical.
So what did you see?
I've seen different things. Crystal's seen some things. It's kind of freaky sometimes. Unfortunately, and then it's very interesting also in Glastonbury, it's one of the major ley lines that runs through. It's the Archangel Michael line that runs all the way through Britain from one end to the other. There's an energy line, and all along the Michael line, where you go for hundreds and hundreds of miles, there's churches dedicated to Archangel Michael all along the line. And there's also a Mary line that runs kind of diagonal or crisscross, and all along that line are all the Mary churches dedicated. But the interesting thing is that at Glastonbury, it's where the lines cross. Or is it Avebury where they cross? Glastonbury. Okay, the line,
It's a Glastonbury.
Yeah, Glastonbury, the lines cross. So there's a beautiful, beautiful Mary Magdalene chapel that we go in, and we do some prayers in that and connect with the Mary Magdalene energy. But just recently, earlier in the year, unfortunately, there's Weary All Hill, which is a hill kind of opposite the Tor. And on this hill, there's a sacred tree. It's the holy thorn tree. And the legend is that Joseph of Arimathea, who was Jesus' uncle, when he used to bring Jesus as a boy, he was a trader,